ready to the countdown.
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
We are live. Hey, Chessa.
It's so good to be back. I missed you guys so much. Oh
We
my
missed you too. It seems like it's been forever.
Hmm.
Oh my God.
All four of us is back. Y'all got all four of us today, y'all. Talking about a very important subject. We're talking about Corona. Corona. And did we not get the biggest news in the last 48 hours? I guess we'll get to that
Oh my God.
later on. But I just wanted to say, welcome to our live stream. We're streaming to YouTube today. So if you just checking to see our comments and see if I see our Facebookers. I don't see our YouTubers. Hello. I see a couple new faces here. And we're also I'm gonna share the stream right now to Periscope. So who wants to start? Let's go around the glass table and let's, I guess, tell the audience what life's been like since the last time we talked about Corona before we get into some hot topics. So who
I'll
wants to
go
start?
last because I have like a part talking about that. So I'll go last. I'll let you ladies go first.
All right. So Molly, it's been like since the last time we talked about Corona? Because remember our last Corona episode, you had the privilege of be able to, in the last, I think, 10 minutes, if you're looking for it, you had like a slideshow. Do you remember? Talking about Corona conspiracies. So we kind of touched on it.
Well, them conspiracies have been going even crazier since then, but anyway, we're gonna touch on that. Well, Hungary has eased that like our lockdown. We don't have lockdown period, which is problematic because restaurants are all open for eating, cafes are open, bars, pubs, dance halls, all of them they are open, and it's like outside dining. Maybe I would say okay because the weather is still okay to sit outside, and then you can more easily social distance and all that. But the masks are mandatory, which is weird because restaurants and bars are open where you literally have to take off the mask to do anything. So it's confusing, but whatever. Um, Last time I went out was like in August, so I'm just like I'm staying safe. It was 3 weeks that I had with friends who live in Switzerland and other towns and other countries in Europe. So we used that time to do something fun too. But we kept socially distant. Like we went out drinking, but we just ended up buying the drinks to go, and then we sat down in the park, like 10 meters away from everyone, and we all have we're all good, we're all healthy, we're all young, and actually because some of us actually returned to Hungary, they were tested for coronavirus upon entry, so we're all cool and luckily uninfected, or to the very least asymptomatic, which is fun. It's the coronavirus bingo. Are you asymptomatic or not infected?
Yeah.
So I guess that's that. I have a new job, kinda, sorta, still the same company but different position, which not the best, but at least I'm getting paid, so I won't really complain. At least not publicly.
Well,
I'm grateful for that.
congratulations, ma'am.
Yeah.
And you said y'all was 10 meters away. Is it because it's different in Hungary?
Oh no,
Because it's 6 feet. Is it really 6 feet, or y'all just went the extra 4 feet?
We went the extra, like 6 feet is like 2 meters. So 10 meters would be like approximately a lot of, I can't count. So what something, but yeah, it's we just sat down like 10 meters away from everyone because you don't know where those people have been, and we are smarter than to think that 2 meters is gonna stop like a virus from going
Right.
crazy at you. So we were just like, we got our drinks, we sat down like far away from everyone, and then once we were done drinking and we had to move through people, masks and all that, but luckily we're all safe and sound, so that's
Well,
good.
so what are the numbers like in Hungary?
Oh
Are
my
they
god.
increasing since your son
Yeah,
shut down, or decreasing?
yeah, now they are increasing again, but then also
Wow.
they like it's crazy because they weren't testing people who came back to Hungary. Like, it was not mandatory for, like, if you traveled to a green country, which would mean like Croatia, for example, I think is a green country, which means that they are not a risky country to travel to. They wouldn't test you and they wouldn't quarantine you, but now they are quarantining people. And yeah, the numbers are increasing again, which is not fun. And the kids are back in school, and I'm particularly mad about that because it's either the kids who need to finance the disinfectants and the cleaning supplies, or the teachers.
Well, I can talk
And
about that. I got kids in school
and
about
I'm just
school and
I'm just
lockdown.
super mad about that because let me tell you, most Hungarian schools are not equipped to handle nor social distancing nor disinfecting between classes. Like,
Wow.
impossible. I don't know how they would do it, and I don't know if they are doing temperature checks in the schools upon entry. Many parents would actually like not let their kids stay home unless they are like literally dying. So, uh, especially in Hungary, it's, I guess it's the like the USSR like remnants that we're just like, I'm not staying home. It's just the sniffles. It's just the sniffles, and then literally 300 kids are in the school, and then 100 get sick in 2 weeks because you all are just stupid and not leaving your kids home. And that goes down. I remember when I was a kid and it went down, like we would have a class of 36 or something, and then we would get one person who's sick but doesn't stay home, and then 2 weeks later, out of the 36 kids, there were only like 15 present because the rest of us were sick. So I don't think that's any different with coronavirus, and
And so you said the
I don't
numbers
think.
are increasing there. Emma, you said that they were actually rolling back some, uh, or you guys were rolling back in phases or something like that in the UK, even, or something like that. Oh, you can explain what your life has been like in during. You're on mute, honey. There you are.
Parts of the UK is a bit all over the place, to be honest, because towns next to me, parts of that town are back on like lockdown again, and they're not allowed to meet other households. Where we are at the moment, we're back to 6. You can only meet 6 people. Pubs are closing at 10. So, but then a lot of people are really confused, like in places up north and close to where I am, they're still not sure of like exactly what the rules are, because like it's never, like Boris never seems to set it out like properly, wrote it clearly. It's always a bit of this and a bit of that, and then you're left thinking, well, do I really understand what he's just said? So he spoke about if people don't stick to the rules, he's going to cancel Christmas. So at this point, I don't know, what's going to happen. Like, I don't see the point really of closing the pubs at 10 when the pubs close at 11 anyway. Like, what difference
Does
does
an
an hour
hour
make?
make? Right.
If you're all sat, now we've got to wear masks in the supermarkets, and now the shop staff have to wear masks where they never had to before. So if you're going to sit opposite people, 5 more people in a pub, and chat close and not have to wear a mask, but then if you go shopping and you're not going to stand that close to somebody as you do in a pub and have to wear a mask, it's just a lot of stuff that just seems to conflict information. It's just,
Yeah, that's the same even here.
So is the numbers increasing there?
Well, I was just looking and it says the numbers yesterday, there was 28 died. 28 had tested positive for COVID at time of death. So I'm not sure. I think the numbers have come down, but I think they're rising again. But I don't even know a proper explanation why that is. But I think if they'd have put wearing masks on transport in shops and everything like that mandatory to start with, then it would have been a lot better than waiting months and months and then saying, right now, everybody wear masks. Because basically, like the damage is done and they're trying to repair the damage that was that is being done instead of preventing it in the first place.
So how is Emma doing since our last Corona episode? During the shutdown and all of that?
I was doing okay because, like, I'm a bit of a hermit anyway. I don't go out that much. But then when friends can't come and see you, it does start to get a bit depressing. But I always keep myself occupied anyway. I've always got something to do. But yeah, it does take its toll on when you're used to just like being able to catch up with people over the weekend and chat. And, you know, I've seen my family once since March, and that's my brother's birthday. And it's, you know, I've missed all my nieces and nephews' birthdays, missed my birthday, missed my sister's birthday, missed my dad's 70th. You know, I think it takes a toll on families. So I started to feel that. And then obviously, as you guys know, I was diagnosed with a vitamin D deficiency, which has like made me feel even more shit because, you know, I can't really do anything. My legs and arms have been numb and my hair's coming out in clumps. I've got constant backache. I've had a headache since December, and I think that could have been the start of the deficiency. So I'm just battling with that at the moment, but I'm a fighter.
Well, Emma, you know we're here for you, girl.
Thank
I know
you.
that vitamin D deficiency stuff is no joke. Ain't no joke for sure, for real.
I didn't know it could fuck up your body like this. I had no idea because I woke up one day and I went to walk to the kitchen. My knees give way, and you know when you kneel on your legs and then you stand up and you've got pins and needles, but it's like pins and needles, but feels numb and spongy and weak, and that's how my legs felt. And then my arms started feeling like that. And after about 2 weeks, I thought, this isn't right. Whatever it is, I should have got over it in 2 weeks. I put it down to sciatica. And then I went and had, it took me about 2.5 weeks to get a phone appointment with a doctor. Mm-hmm. Then she says, we need to put you in for blood tests, which took about another 2 weeks. Then I had to wait for the results. And then it came back saying vitamin D deficiency. And it can take 3 months to get back to normal. So they've prescribed me like 1 a week vitamin D supplement. So I've got 4. I'm only in my 3rd week at the moment, so I've got another 11 weeks to go of that. But I've been using a UV lamp as well every few days to try and top myself up, because people are saying to me, go out and walk in the sun. I'm in a 3rd floor flat. The stairs make my legs go. So I can't risk going down the stairs, walking to somewhere sunny and then walking back again. It's just at the moment, it's something that I can't really do.
Well, we are sending positive vibes your way. I hope you feel well soon. I guess did Corona impact the time it took to see the doctor? Because I mean that's another thing that everybody's experiencing. Is if you're a person that regularly see a therapist or regularly see doctors for almost anything, I think you guys were discussing this a little bit on the Makeup and Chat, how difficult it is to see a doctor.
Yeah.
You know, I guess.
And just to get through to the doctor on the phone, it took me about 2 hours because they kept saying they're busy and they hung me up. They're busy, hung me up. And then it was like, you're the 10th caller in a row. And I'm just like, oh my God. Like, it literally took over 2 hours just to speak to somebody.
I know, like, I guess in my neck of the woods, virtual schooling is the topic in our household every single day. It is driving me nuts. I am not a teacher. I did not sign up to be a teacher. And it seems like, and then, now with the kids, they're learning how to skip virtual school. I have to say that I experienced that already. They think they clever. They sneaking out of school already. And it's a lot. I can't wait to, I understand that. And I am grateful. I'll just say this first. I am grateful that I'm in a position that I get to be home with my kids, because there are a lot of people who are not in a position to be at home and have to be at home, because they can't send their kids to school when you don't have, because school is like daycare for most parents when they're working and stuff like that. So I am grateful for that. But I do want them out of my house, y'all. They eating up all my food. They into everything. It's like homework all day long, and the expectations, because of the schools in Michigan already being overburdened, similar to what Molly was saying. Because they're already overburdened, they shift a lot of the financial burden to the parents. So we've had to purchase a lot of tech tech stuff for our kids, and who knows if they're gonna even use it again. Um, my daughter's laptop went out right before the school year started. It's just a lot of stuff, and then teachers are even talking about the fact that they have to have so much. There's so much on them. So I would
I
say,
mean,
go ahead.
are you teaching the kids, or do they have like a conference call with the teachers? Because I know in Hungary that was the deal, that you would have like a kind of a Zoom call or some stuff like that with the teachers, like the actual teachers, and the parents would just kind of supervise in most cases.
Yeah, but even with that, okay. Well, so to answer your question, my state, Michigan, is a homeschool state. So I've homeschooled my children before through a virtual program. They've been homeschooled before. They actually just been back to school for the last couple years, and then Corona happened. So they are in school, and their school does have Zoom calls. But if your child, if you have a child, not to call one particular child out in my house, but if you have a child who has a double screen, like two screens, and can mute himself on the Zoom call and take himself out and play video games on the other screen. And then I'm not in there monitoring. It's so funny, if you go on the internet, little kids are like putting little dolls in front of the Zoom call and like cameras, thinking that trying to skip school and stuff like that. So I know I'm not the only parent that's out there. But so yeah, a lot of the burden is on the teachers. But see, since the teachers, they're not in school to have that personal one-on-one instruction, that to be able to answer questions and stuff like that, it's just hard. And then some kids are just not into using computers. It's just not their thing. So most of my corona complaints have been that, and then my husband has been working in hot spots here, so that's been like really nerve wracking. And the fact, I don't know if you guys have watched the news, but here in Michigan, the Supreme Court just overruled our governor here in Michigan, Big Gretch, and said that all of her lockdown orders since April 30th, were illegal.
Wow.
So in 21 days, she had just applied for renewal for the emergency powers as a governor to be able to, and people have been crediting the fact that she has been so strict here in Michigan with the fact that our numbers have been low. And so now everybody's expecting an explosion. A lot of people think it's politics, that they, maybe the other side, the Republicans, want to see an explosion of coronavirus here. We live in a hot zone here, so it's kind of hard. Like, just, we wear masks everywhere, but it's kind of hard because you don't know if the masks really work. I guess we'll talk about that, whether masks work, and to mask or not to mask. So, Chessa, tell us what's been going on with you.
Oh my God, everything. So since we last chatted, I got COVID. A lot of people know that. I told you ladies, like, while I was going through the process of getting COVID, I was very upset. But but yeah, I got it. I recovered. I've heard home education sucks, by the way, with kids. Like I heard kids only get a minute to talk with their teacher per kid
You girl,
after each
it's a mess.
session or
You
whatever.
better grab Miss Lily. You don't have to worry about
Yeah,
that this year.
I know. But we've had to decide who was going to stay home, who was going to get a job. You know, switching schedules and trying to work out a schedule where we both can work has been like near impossible. And then I was working at the escape room before COVID hit and everything, and like up until we closed, like I was drenched in Lysol. I had gloves on. I was still running back and forth with a tool belt, like trying to fix and reset rooms, like while people were going through and keeping people separate, and it was crazy. So when that all fell apart and then I got COVID, we had no income at all. And it was right after they'd cut off the unemployment $600 a week thing that I got sick. So it was like, oh man, like it sucked so bad. But yeah, I ended up going to Florida. Some people saw my posts. I went to Florida and I had been working at the escape room. I'd been wearing my mask, and it worked really well. It was an N95 mask. So I felt like I could be safe enough somehow to travel. I had gotten that idea in my head just from not getting it for so long and trying to be careful. So I get up to the gate to board the plane, and the woman that's standing there, it was Frontier, she says, your mask is not an accepted mask on this plane. You have to take it off. And I said, what do you mean I have to take my mask off? Like, what are you talking about? She said, oh, our airplane regulations now, we don't allow people to wear masks with filters. And I was like, what are you talking about?
Wow.
Like, masks with filters? So she gives me this mask, and it was literally like someone took Hanes underwear and like cut holes out of it, like no double material at all, nothing, just a single material flap over my face. And I was stupid enough, I did it. So I fly there, and like for the most part, like we really did. We social distance when we went to the beach. We went to the beach at not popular times. We didn't walk around anybody else. Didn't try to go into too many like enclosed spaces and stuff. Mostly just stuck with each other. And on the way home, I wore my mask with the filters, and I put the crappy mask on over it. And like they almost like yelled at me. I was trying to be careful. I guess at that point maybe I'd already had it. I don't know. But when I got back home, I quarantined and I immediately went tested because I was just like, I just went out of state. If I'm going to try and get back into the public, I want to make sure I know beforehand whether or not I have it. And they called me within 2 days. They were like, hey, you got COVID. And I was like, oh, that's why I feel like this. I understand. Yeah. But it was weird. It was a weird illness. I don't know if anybody else has gone through getting COVID. Some people now, when you tell them that you had it, they kind of like back away from you a little bit. Like even though you've been cleared, they're just like, "Ooh, she had COVID." But it was weird. I didn't have a lot of coughing. I am on a lung steroid for my asthma, so that might be why I didn't have as much lung problems. Is because I'm already heavily medicated in my lungs. But I did have fever. I had really bad migraines, some of which have not subsided since. And I'm not really the kind of person, hey, Linda, thank you, that gets migraines that often. But it was terrible. And then spinal pain. I had pain like in the middle of my spine, and it felt like it would shoot out through my nervous system. And I didn't get it until after I had COVID. And it's really weird. My heart too. I feel like there's been heart issues, and it was terrifying. Like after having COVID, hearing even if you're asymptomatic, you can still have heart stress from COVID.
Wow.
Yeah, and apparently it also like wicked dehydrates you. So you could just be dehydrated to the point of death if you don't know and take excess water in, even if you're asymptomatic. Like a lot of people go to the hospital, and it takes out of your organs because it takes your water. It's crazy illness. I've never had anything like it.
So I know my brother-in-law had it, and he had mild symptoms.
Hmm.
But it was hard to do a lot of what you call tracing. Is that what you call in tracing?
Yes,
Or
contact
whatever.
tracing.
Contact
Yeah.
tracing. That's what I'm looking for. Uh, in his particular case, because of the fact that unfortunately, he knew that he had it and still was socializing with people. So, and I know like the people across the street from me, they're just talking about people who I know. There was a not across the street from me. I think it was in our neighborhood. They actually had like a sign. They're doing these things where they're putting like, um, you know, pictures of their loved one and like flowers and balloons and stuff like that, to say that a person who one of their family members died of COVID. There's like a particular color ribbon that they're using too. It's just sad.
Yeah, it
And
is.
we was worried about you, Chessa.
I know. I was worried. It was really weird. Like, it's really unpredictable. I woke up every day feeling a little bit different. And for the most part, I was asymptomatic. And I'm glad because with my asthma and with my autoimmune issues, I was like, man, like if I get this, it could go bad. And I ended up being lucky this time around. But I don't know what internal damage it did. Like I've been having heart issues ever since. I haven't went to the doctor and had my organs checked yet. I think that's happening later this year anyway. So it's just it's scary. And then I guess being able to be reinfected again, you have like a 3-month time period where you may have antibodies that protect you, but then after that it supposedly wears off, so you're susceptible. Some people don't even have the antibodies, so they just get sick repetitively. It's a scary thing. COVID's
There's
scary.
so much we don't know about COVID.
Yeah.
Because at one point they were saying that you couldn't get reinfected, and now we know that that's not the case.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Well,
been
a friend
cases
of mine, sorry.
You have 3 months where it's
Go ahead, Emma.
A friend of mine told me the other day that his friend, I think he runs a taxi, so he has to get tested regular, and he's tested positive twice in the past month or something, and he's had no symptoms at all. Didn't even know he had it. So that's pretty scary.
Yeah, I mean, COVID is supposedly like a relative or like a mutant version of SARS. Like that's why it's called SARS-2-CoV. And basically, it's like like SARS can like pierce pieces out of the lung with the damage it does from all the coughing and all that, and it's unpredictable. You don't know, and so many of us live with like organ issues that they don't know of because I will just check it out, or we just had the appointment for 2 weeks later, and then you get COVID, and you can die because you did not know that you have some like underlying issue that should have made you more careful and all that. And it's a new virus. That's all that we know. And the more we find out about it, like there's a vaccine in progress, which is great. And I've seen people say that it should be like 15 to 20 years to develop a vaccine. Yes, in the 60s, it was like that. But we have better technology now. And if there is a COVID jab that I can get whenever it becomes available for the public, and whenever the actual like experts say that it's safe to get, I will be like, hell yeah, man, sting me, bro, give me. Like I will be like not even bothered, and I hate needles, but I will be like, okay, fine, you know what, this is what it is. It's a new thing, and if we need to get like re like revaccinated yearly, just like with the flu, I will do it too, because that's it. Like we don't have a steady flu shot because it evolves and mutates yearly. So scientists try and find and guesstimate and figure out that year's details and prepare our immune system with the vaccines. Vaccines are vaccines. And I don't understand why that would be so hard for people to get through their heads.
Well, we have like an anti-vax movement here, and
Yeah,
a strong anti-vax movement here in the United States. But like as you were saying, you and Chessa was saying, there's so much that we don't know about COVID. A lot of the things,
yeah,
treatments that they're using, even the fact that people are getting complications when they come from using or from having had the ventilator used on them. As
yeah,
I mean, it's just, I mean, so many complications afterwards. And I know you could, if you watch, if you are a person that likes to, keep up with COVID and people, a lot of even high profile people who got it initially at first, um, talk about the long term effects, even mental health, that you,
yeah,
why, that, that they were suicidal, and that it was just, it's a lot of things that we're, maybe 30 years from now when we reflect on this time period that, that we're going to have to take account of.
yeah,
You know what, Spence? I forgot about that because during COVID, I did get severely depressed. And I just remembered, I wrote you girls about it. I don't know if you remember, but I was like, man, like I have COVID,
Yeah, I remember.
potentially family have COVID. Like I feel like I'm at the end of my rope. Like it really is that bad. And I don't know if it's just like that social context of getting it and being one of the ones who got it and that being like a socially impactful thing, or if it's the actual disease itself. But yeah, depression can get really bad on COVID, like near postpartum levels almost. I wouldn't say quite postpartum, but it gets a
Especially
little
with the
wild, you
isolation,
know.
because you have to isolate yourself.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And I mean, trying to, because when I came home, as soon as I got off the plane, I did everything I could to self isolate. Like I covered myself in antibacterial stuff before I got in the car. As soon as I got home, I sequestered myself to a bedroom. Like I was really trying to stay away from Lily and from James and like from getting them sick or contaminating them. They went and got tested. Test came back negative, but who knows? So we just all quarantined anyway. But like just feeling that guilt and feeling like, you know, you brought this home. I don't know. There was a lot to it. It was awful.
You're not the only
And
one, because Chris Como, he felt the same way. He said
yeah.
he got the when he got COVID, the hardest part was feeling like that he was affecting,
Hmm.
could affect other people in his family. I mean, it was like he went on 10 minutes about how bad he felt, and it's like I said, the mental health implications of those who had COVID, people who had multiple family members who have died of COVID, or people who have not even been able to say a goodbye because of
Hmm.
hospital restrictions. I
Yeah.
mean, we're gonna be all messed up probably 30 years from now. We're gonna have a generation of depressed people.
Yeah, we're definitely in depression, guys. I think it's better to admit it this time around. Ah. But yeah, I mean, and that's the thing with me with the vaccine too, because it's, uh, I don't mind getting vaccinated from COVID, definitely, so I don't get it again. And I would be very interested if Lily never gets COVID, her getting a vaccine, if it was able to cancel it out. Like polio, rubella, there's stuff that we got when we were kids that if we hadn't got it, we very easily could have died or spread it to somebody who could have. Like there are things out there that if they were spread to the entire human race would annihilate a lot of us. So like vaccines are important, but those vaccines have been time tested for a minute. Like at
Right.
least like the general serum of them has been around for generations. This is going to be brand new. How is COVID going to affect us 3 years from now? I hear there's organ damage, tissue damage. It can cause blood clots, all kinds of stuff, stress on the heart, like severe nicotine damage equivalent. And so there's that to worry about. But then also this vaccine, we don't know. Like we have no idea what the long-term implications of any of this is. It kind of reminds me of like Agent Orange in the 1970s in Vietnam, and how nobody really knew at the time that it was going to cause like the deformations that it did in
Right.
when they were born. And then they learned about it, but they kept using it like while they were learning about it for years and years. Uh, Chemicals are no joke. And if you're
I
going to have
remember
to,
seeing,
you're
not
going to
remember, but I came across pictures of the babies that were deformed, and I just, oh my god, it just kind of just broke my heart.
I've met
But I think it was
people.
discussing in our country, they're trying to protect themselves from being sued. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like even at least some people can be compensated, but now like I know like my sister's job, they're having them trying to sign like waivers and stuff like that. Like you can't sue us if you catch COVID on
Yeah.
the job.
And
So I don't
most
know.
employees, most places already have that as a discrepancy in their legal frameworks somewhere. They have like liability insurance claims, and based on certain requirements that you have to meet, you can sue them for liability. But they're very careful about it. But I feel like COVID definitely showed a weak spot, so to say, in the legal language. So a lot of people are implementing it, which is terrifying. It's honestly terrifying. Like if you're going to force people to go to work, like we have no choice. We can't, sometimes you can get a good work from home job. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes you don't have the equipment for it. Sometimes it's just not available in your area, or your internet's not good enough. So you have no choice but to go out and work. And then it's up to everybody else whether or not you get sick, because it's up to them to wear a mask to protect you. Like it's not you wear a mask to protect yourself. You're wearing a mask to protect everybody else. And a lot of people don't care about that anymore.
Well, let's talk about that. Like mask restrictions, to mask or not to mask. Personal reflections. Well, let's begin with Molly. To mask or not to mask? What do you feel about masks and mask mandates and all of that kind of stuff?
I wear my mask. Like just as soon as my toes are out of the door, I'm wearing a mask. I just don't care. Like if it turns out that COVID was a hoax or whatever, then guess what? I was not a limp dick, and I wore a mask anyway because I think that other human beings are just as important as, if not more actually, than my comfort. I hate to wear a mask, but I just don't really give a fuck. I will wear it anyway until the global death toll decreases to 0 a day globally, because that's how I would feel. That's how I will feel safe, and that's just the human thing to do.
Do y'all have a national mandate in Hungary, or
Yeah,
is it like based
yeah.
on where
You
you
could
live?
be fined for like um $150 if they catch you not wearing a mask where you should be wearing a mask. Like basically the rule is that publicly you should be wearing a mask, and I I do think that they work, but yeah, like I'm not talking about those shitty cloth masks that you can get for like $1. I'm not talking about those. We're talking normal, decent, actual, filter mask like what Chessa has, and that's what that's what I wear. That's what we should be wearing, because obviously I have seen that joke made that interesting that when you paint a wall you have to wear a certain type of mask and yada yada yada, all the types of masks. But when it's a deadly pandemic that infects everyone and kills people, it's a piece of clothing. And I'm like, yeah, actually we all
Well, I'm
should be
gonna keep
wearing
it real with
filter masks.
that. I didn't understand that. Like here, I don't understand a lot of things given who our president is, but I'll say that for another time. But I don't understand. Here the CDC first said that masks, you didn't have to wear masks. Whether or not Trump influenced the CDC to say that or not, who knows? But when we first came, they said the masks were not effective, and then like later on down the line, they said masks were effective. I'm like, okay, well, fine, I'll wear masks. And now I was watching something on CNN the other day that says certain masks that people wear are not effective. Maybe the cloth ones that you're saying, but that's what they tell us to wear here. So,
Yeah, same here. Like, first of all, I had an N95 one, but I had that before it was mandatory, so I only wore that like to the protest. And then since I've wore a cloth one, I think because if they've got filters, I think maybe because when you wear them to decorate and stuff, you've still got to breathe, but your breath still comes out, so the virus is technically still coming out the filter parts, I think. So that I think that's why, because with the cloth one, you're fully covered and you don't have parts of the mask where your vapor will come out of. That's what I thought the reasoning behind the filter masks not being used anymore was.
I mean, I get that, but then at the same time, I kind of don't because like I actually also plan to buy like an FFP2 mask, which is like there is FFP1, which is like the cloth masks, then FFP2, which is like the workers' masks, and then I think the N95 would be an FFP3, which is like ain't nothing gets out of this kind of efficiency. So I don't really think that that like I think that's the
Here in the
point of the
United States, we
filters.
are just, and Chessa could probably attest to this. We're discouraged from getting any those type of masks because they're for the healthcare. So we are encouraged to get cloth masks. And like I say, I don't know if it's to our own detriment or not. Who knows, given who we have as president. But at the same time, I mean, like there's no. Don't get me wrong. You see some people with them, but like technically they're not supposed to be buying them here anyway. So I don't know. I personally, I guess when it comes to masks, we live in the United States. There's no national mandate, so it's like get in where you fit in. It depends on where you stay at, as opposed to whether or not they, or even the county. Like you could be in the Democratic state and have Republican counties, and like literally you drive from one city to the next. You know, everybody wearing masks in one city, and then you go into one city, nobody wearing masks. It's crazy. The lack of a national mandate is making it where masks are political. You know, it's a political thing. Like if you're a Trumper, I guess masks are no good. You know, if you're not a Trumper, I don't, you know, you may fall on somewhere one way or another on masks. You know, I personally haven't left my house really since February. We just went out to our first time to a restaurant yesterday, and I was kind of freaked out. But it was like a place where we were outside, so I felt a little bit more comfortable. And we had all of our kids had masks, but I was just freaking out just the thought of my kids being out of the house, and I'm just so scared of them catching the virus or whatever. But so we mask in our household, but it's not a popular thing because I live in a neighborhood where there's anti-maskers. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially don't put a message on your mask now, child. Like Black Lives Matter or something like that. Then you really trying to catch a beat down. So
Yeah, the other day, like it was, I guess 2-3 weeks ago, something like that, and it was like hot back then. Like it was like the beginning of September, so it was still like 30 degrees Celsius or something. So I was like frying even in the morning, and I was just wearing a loose baggy t-shirt like that runs almost down to my knees, and shorts, and my mask, because I was wearing a mask. and these people, like I think it was 6 or 7 people, they started following me and screaming at me like where's your corona, bitch? And I guess they thought that I wasn't wearing any pants and only the shirt or some shit like that, because they were talking about how I should be protecting my pussy because corona is bullshit. And I'm just like, listen, motherfucker, I could be naked with a mask on my face alone and all my tits and pussy hanging out, and you would still not have a right to say anything about me protecting my pussy.
thank you for the visual.
Because that's just not how it works, you know. Like
They sound
I
like some
don't know.
assholes. First of all, what does your pussy got to do with corona? That's number one. They just wanted to say that to you. Let's just
Right.
keep it real. And so, Emma, do y'all have a national mask mandate? You kind of touched on that y'all have to wear masks now more frequently, but did y'all have a mandate before? I think you said there were fines there. For masks.
We were asked to wear masks in shops, but shopkeepers didn't have to. But now they've changed it where shopkeepers and people working in hospitality have to wear masks as well. So if I go into a shop, I wear a mask. I don't walk into and from out in the open air. But if I do go in like a supermarket or shop, I because we've been asked, then I will wear a mask. But now they are stricter with more people wearing them.
But is it a political thing over UK? Like, is it like a us versus them with the whole mask, or it's just like you just pick the mask up? It's not a big
Do you
deal.
know, I've not really paid much attention to it. I see like a few people posting still saying it's hoax and don't wear a mask, you're all sheep and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, if I've got COVID and I don't know it and wearing a mask stops me from spreading it, then fair enough. Like, I don't like wearing a mask. Like, it gets really hot and uncomfortable, but I will do it because at the end of the day, it's only like 5-10 minutes out of my life where I could not spread it. So at the end of the day, it's not that much for me personally hardship. I understand how, it does make me more anxious wearing it, and I understand how some people are too anxious to wear one, but I'm not going to criticize them. If they don't feel they can't wear a mask, then that's fair enough. I don't see why, you should give people shit over not wearing a mask if they physically or mentally are not able to. So a lot of people in our town are like making Leonards. So they've got like a little card on like a ribbon around the neck to say that they're exempt, because apparently some people have been getting abused from not wearing masks.
I don't know if y'all been watching what's been going on in the United States, because it's almost like hell on earth sometimes. But there is some videos of people getting straight up mad in like shopping areas. It seems mostly like Walmarts to me. I don't know for some reason, where people yelling at people, abusing the staff. First of all, they are essential workers. They are putting their lives out there on the line to be dealing with everybody anyway. And then to have people, anti-maskers, coming in there like making demonstrations and punching out salespeople and stuff like that. It's just crazy. Like some of these. Go ahead.
I've not been out much, so I probably haven't seen like much stuff like that. But I should have mentioned earlier that we've got a thing where a couple of weeks ago they said if you're meeting more than groups of 6, then you'll be fined £100. And then if you caught again, it doubles. And they said it will go up to like, I can't remember, it was a few grand. They said you will get charged up to. But now they've doubled that. So anyone meeting in more than groups of 6 will be charged £200 and then upwards.
That's crazy. Well, the police here in Michigan said they're not enforcing the governor's law. I mean, the mask law. So you may or may not get a fine here.
Boris says he will bring in the military if he needs to. If the police need more help enforcing these rules, then he's willing to bring the military in to do so.
That's leadership. Speaking of leadership, no, I'm joking. I know, like, for me, wearing the mask is not really a big deal. But at first, when I first started seeing everybody wear a mask, I remember I went outside and it was just like a stark image. I remember taking pictures of in my neighborhood because it was just like it just reminded me of like China or somewhere. I was just thinking like, wow, the world has really changed. It's never going to be the same again. But now that I wear a mask, I be thinking to myself, I don't know why I let some of y'all breathe on me anyway. I like the distance. Keep your distance. Don't breathe on me. All your germs. Wear your mask.
I feel the same way. I mean, and I mentioned this on the makeup show, and if I don't forget, I will link a video of an immunocompromised person discussing why he thinks we should never go back to normal, about masks and social distancing. But he says it's like, hey dude, it's like the flu season and all that. Can we actually make that like a regular thing, that from like October to March we all wear masks, social distance, have disinfectants on buses, trams, public transport, at entrances of shops, and all that? Can we normalize that so that people who are immunocompromised and people who are more sensitive, like with asthma, heart issues, such and such, old people, smaller kids, pregnant women and such, so that they don't get infected over and over again from March, from October till March, like, and he explains that that would actually make his life easier as an immunocompromised person, and it will make just in general less infection, less worker fallout from the infection of like flu and cold and all that, and it would also just
Right.
Yeah.
Basically, Molly's saying stop being nasty because some of these guidelines is just stuff we should have been doing anyway, like hand
wash
washing.
your damn hands.
Right.
That's what we're saying.
Having
Yeah, wash your damn
sanitizer.
hands.
Right. All of that kind of stuff we should have had that anyway. So, but yeah. Anyway, I mean, it does good. It's guess it's good to have reminders. I don't know. Having a background in the hospital and healthcare, it's just like second nature to me, like hand washing and all of that kind of stuff. But and then they say the masks are not effective if other people don't wear it. Is that true? Like if I'm wearing my mask and I walk in the store and everybody else is not wearing a mask, is this like me not wearing a mask?
Yeah, because like the masks are supposed to stop your germs for going outwards, and that is why everyone who can should wear a mask. And if you cannot, like from trauma and other mental difficulties and all that, which I understand because I have OCD and I have trauma, and I actually sometimes in crowds experience difficulties breathing even without a mask. So add a mask to that, and I'm just going like wheezing
Right,
and choking on my neck like an idiot. But anyway, the point is that if people are not wearing a mask and then you are wearing a mask, you're like protecting them, but their germs can still get to you.
Okay, so this is
So
why people is getting mad. This is why people get pissed when other people don't wear masks.
yeah, I mean, when I get home, like I go out, I go out to shop. Okay, like I go out for my bread and milk and like my basics, and then scurry home. I'm like, okay, I'm not dealing with you nasties, because some of y'all are still wearing the mask that you bought in like fucking February. Like,
Or like they said, like South Park. Did you watch the South Park episode? It's free, by the way.
not yet,
The
but
pandemic,
it's gonna
they
air
wear them like
today. It's
chin
gonna air
diapers.
today after our live stream, so I can't wait to see it.
Please
So
watch
don't
it. It's
spoil
so funny. I'm not gonna spoil it, but I'm gonna tell you this one part. They say that that you have some people who wear masks like chin diapers. Would you see that? Like, what is the point of wearing the mask if you're not gonna really wear the mask?
I mean, it's
Have
crazy
you seen
because
the people who are stitching together anti-masks? Like they purposely with holes in them. They're
Yeah,
purposely ineffective.
that's a thing in Kentucky for sure. There's people who wear them on purpose the wrong way or who poke holes in them and crap just to prove a point. And I'm just like, come on. Like,
I mean, I see so many motherfuckers who. Do I have my mask nearby? I don't. Anyway, like they wear their mask like down on their chin, and I'm like, exactly like that, and I'm just
or
like,
like this. Or
Oh
with one
yeah,
nostril,
right.
or like it's
and I'm just like,
or
what
like
the
this,
hell are
like
you
all the
doing?
way down.
Or the people who wear
Yeah.
masks in the car, driving in the car. That annoys me because we have people that fell out a couple times.
forget. I'm guilty of that one.
No, you better stop doing that. People been falling out in the car and stuff. Hey, so
I mean, someone mentioned
conspiracy theory. I'm sorry, I'm talking over y'all.
No.
someone mentioned that they don't go out or order in because they don't trust people. Yeah, in Hungary, it even before all this, like it was mandatory for cooks to wear gloves and masks and change them after every course that they cooked. Like if you cooked a batch of chicken and then you needed to cook a batch of potatoes, you needed to change the gloves, disinfect your hand, change the gloves, handle the potatoes then, such and such. So that was already like a regulation in Hungary. So I feel okay ordering in.
Actually,
Uh,
well, it wasn't here, child, because now I see in McDonald's. It's the weirdest thing. Burger King, like fast food restaurants, they're wearing the hospital masks and they're wearing the gloves. I go to this Taco Bell that they actually take this device and hand the bag out to you with the device, and then they don't want to touch your money, so they put out this huge cup out there for you to put your cup and your change and stuff in there. It's just like everybody here seems like they work at the hospital. It's just how it is here. So
I'm
I
lucky.
don't
I'm a server now. They had to close down the escape room I was working at. Not lucky because they couldn't get enough people back in after they reopened to hire anybody back on, and then they ended up closing. So I had to go out and find a new job because we had nothing. As soon as I got over coronavirus, I had to go back to work. As soon as I got the all clear, I was like, all right, job. So now I'm serving at a restaurant, but it's fine dining. So there's a wait. They don't allow more than a few people in at a time. It's a very big place, so that like there's a lot of social distancing, and like we have regulated everything down to if you take plates from a table, you have to completely wash your hands, completely wash everything, use sanitizer before you even go out or grab anybody's food or anything else. Like it used to be like serving, you go in, you go out, you never have empty hands. You're always giving people food or taking food away. Like that's just serving, right? But like we've had to change so much in the kitchens, doing dish, like where people are positioned in the kitchen so that they can socially distance while they cook. Like they really have it down there. They really do like practice safety precautions and take it seriously. So I'm grateful to work there, but I know that there's a lot of restaurants. There was a barbecue joint here that we loved to go to before. I'm not going to say the name of it. It was actually a stand on the side of the road. Best barbecue in town. He got closed down because not only did he refuse to wear a mask, he would not let his employees wear a mask. And if someone came up to him and told him he should have a mask on, he would literally punch them. Like he was just like, I'm not letting you trample over my rights.
what?
Like I
Okay,
have
sound like
rights.
homeboy need to be shut down.
Yeah. So he got shut down. There's several other places in town that reopened as soon as they could, and then they got shut down for COVID. Anna's never had that problem. They've been open the whole time because they're so strict. Like they've never had an incident. They're very on top of it. But like there's been some weirdness here in Kentucky. Like it's a weird time. It's interesting.
Well, I know I said I wanted to get to crazy conspiracy theories, but on the mask things in the restaurants though, do they do they set the tables apart? You know what?
Yes.
I'm only asking because I'm thinking about venturing out and going to a restaurant. Yeah.
Ask about their precautions beforehand, I would say. Like so it's basically built in this church. I think it was Baptist when they bought it, but it was built in 1904, and the like stained glass inside looks like it was Catholic maybe when it was built. But it's a really, really old, giant abandoned church that was downtown. So they bought it, completely renovated for 4 years, opened up at the end of last year, got through Valentine's Day, and then everything happened. So they completely changed everything around, restructured right away, and we're very professional about it. But because it's bigger, it's a huge building. They have the ability to set people apart, and they have like tables already like 6 to 8 feet apart, but then they'll seat people like one person on this side of the room, other person on this side of the room. Like they really do like stretch people out. And the only problem is we don't have sections anymore. Like usually a server has like a section of tables.
Right. So how y'all tips? How do y'all get your tips?
Well, so we're just told we have radios, and we're told when we're about to get a table. So we go light the candles and then set everything up, and then they come and sit down, and then we take care of them. But it could be anywhere in the restaurant, and we have an upper floor and a lower floor. So on Fridays and Saturdays, that's when we're the most booked, and we do socially distance, but there's a line, there's like a wait. You have to wait. So people are waiting to get in, they get in. So it gets kind of hectic, but your tables could be upstairs, downstairs, back of the building, front of the building, and it's all based on how many servers have how many people and how many tables they can take at that time. Like
It sounds like I need to take a plane ride to Kentucky and go to that restaurant.
It is a good. I highly recommend it. Like I'm glad I got a job there. Genuinely,
Because we had some people in our area who actually proudly display before people start getting shut down around here. You don't have to wear a mask, no social distancing. Like it was like it was a badge of honor. And I'm thinking, like, do you think I'm honestly gonna come there,
No.
knowing that you don't do that? But I guess some people. I saw a lot of people, and it seemed like to me, and a lot of people in a high risk area, a lot of older folks was just going to this restaurant. Eventually got shut down. So
Well, and
whatever.
I'm always like, I mean, I take precautions, whatever the case, but especially if I have older customers that I'm serving, I make sure, like, I want to make sure anybody who is slightly susceptible is taken care of. Same thing with baby chairs. We wipe down the baby chairs before and after each use just to make sure that there's no cross contamination there. Like, it's hard. It's not easy to serve during COVID, but I would say, you can do it. It just takes more time, patience, and that costs you money.
All right, let's get to conspiracy theories. I don't want us to come off the loud without talking about that. Who want to go first? Like the craziest one you heard. You want me to go first? Okay. What about I watched a video the other day. You know the hospital mask. This lady was like, if you really want to know what's really going on, they're really trying to kill us through these masks. And she opened the mask and took the wire out and said this wire was like tracking them and something about downloading the 5G. I said, what? So I don't know if you can hear me. Hang on one second.
I can hear you.
Oh, hang on.
I hear you.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Molly.
So that's a crazy one.
I saw some lady do that. It's not about COVID, but with bras. She was taking the labels apart and saying, look at this thing inside. And then someone messaged on the post and said, that's so it sets the alarms off at the door if you try and nick it. But she was saying that it was tracking devices in underwear so they can track down women and human traffic them from their underwear. Oh, Victoria's Secret. That's who she was saying it was doing it.
That was actually destroying 5G towers here. Do you know how much money those towers cost?
What?
Yes.
No.
Yeah. Here, they had to have the police sat in police cars right next to them because people were saying on the pages, local pages, they were going to go knock them down. So I saw pictures of police cars by the towers.
Yeah, they actually knock them down here, and I didn't know those things are like almost like like in the millions of dollars to build. So yeah, they were knocking them down here because apparently 5G is what the reason why we have Corona.
I think it's the global warming and the icebergs are melting and they're releasing all the viruses into the water, and then like bats are drinking the water and then pooping on us and we're eating them and we're eating their poop and then we get coronavirus. I think that's what.
I mean, have you all seen Contagion?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Basically, it was based on like the SARS stuff, and the SARS also started kind of from like pigs and bats living close by, and the bats eating the pigs stuff, and then the bats getting infected. But because bats are curious little creatures, I actually freaking love bats, but basically the bats, I mean, they can get infected with stuff, but their immune system provides them with such high immunity because nature is smart and nature knows, oh, there's gonna be a million of you motherfuckers up in one cave, so your immune system has to be like kick ass because bats have like kick-ass immune systems, so
right.
Their stupid asses can get infected with like literally anything on God's green earth, and they will not be sick. They will live their happy little bat lives, and then infect anything else that moves. So bats,
I was just
don't eat
say,
them.
You better watch the South Park episode. I don't want to spoil it, but just listening to you talk,
I will. I
it's gonna
will.
crack. It's gonna crack you up.
I will. Like it will air in like 2.5 hours.
Oh
I
yeah,
can wait.
yay. Okay, I see. I've seen it already. Okay, so wait. I know a conspiracy theory that drives you up the wall, Molly. Don't go off. But it's one that you talk about a lot about the wealthy elites intentionally spreading the virus to win power and profit, and then people start mentioning stuff about Bill Gates. And your favorite guy, what's his name? George Soros. Is that the one? The Hungarian?
Yeah. Oh God. So that now has another like I try to be educated. Like I try to be a worldly educated woman. So I try and gather as much information of these conspiracy theories as I can. And basically, like the theory is that uh, Bill Gates produced this virus, or that Trump or that Trump invented this virus to either in the case of Bill Gates to track us, and in the case of Donald Trump to fight pedophilia, which is for a multiply accused and actually I think even court convicted pedophile. I don't think that would be his interest, especially after wishing well on Epstein and Maxwell, who are also convicted pedos. Luckily one of them dead. Hopefully both of them too soon. Anyway,
Dang,
point is
Molly ain't playing.
that they believe that like it's a push from big pharma stuff to get money, and that we should not be paying for any medicine and all that. And I'm just like, hang on, especially for all the capitalist sims out there. So you would think, hold on, you think that it's a it's a money making ploy, but at the same time you think that capitalism works and is okay. Like people are saying it's all for profit, all for profit, all for profit, all for profit. And I'm like, hey dude, you're so close to getting it, yet so far away. Like do you not see the direct incoherence in what you're saying? Like do you not? And to say that like Bill Gates and Soros, they are both like multi-billionaires, my dudes. They don't give a rat's ass about your details. Do you have a smartphone? They already know exactly what porn you're watching, where you are, and when you're watching it, and how many times you're watching it. They don't need anything else. Like they know what you're doing. They know your text details. They have your IDs. They have everything. Okay. They don't need anything else other than you having a laptop, a smartphone, a PC, whatever. It has an IP address. It's a direct key to all your details. Boom, done. They don't need anything else.
Well, unfortunately,
And
a lot of conspiracy theories that we hear come directly from our president. Like he said that children cannot catch COVID. Like they don't die for COVID, basically. Now, or the bleach thing. Do that count as a conspiracy theory or just something just wacky? Something he said. Disinfected or whatever.
Yeah, I was reading about that. He actually said, I'll write it down actually, so I can say word for word what he said. I see the disinfectant where it knocks it out in 1 minute. And is there a way we can do that, something like that by injection, inside or almost a cleaning? Because you see, it gets in the lungs and it does a tremendous number on the lungs. And because he said that, brands like Lysol and Dettol had to put out a statement to say, we do not recommend that you ingest or take into your body any of our disinfectants. But like, considering he's the president, yeah, people say, well, if people take him seriously, then they're stupid. As a president, surely you should not be making stupid statements like that because somebody will try it.
Well, they did. You heard about the people were getting sick. They were in the news. CNN reporting there was people getting sick and because they were actually doing what the president said. So there's
Okay,
actually
but
people out there that will do stuff like that just because the
okay,
president
but
said it. And
do you,
and they always, with the president, it's always a conspiracy. Everybody is fake, and it's always a big, conspiracy. So, you know what I'm
I
saying?
mean, okay, but do you guys remember, like, I think it was last year when people were chewing Tide Pods?
Mm.
Right. And to this day, it's so hard to open those Tide Pods now. It's
And
almost
I'm just like, li- what? We didn't learn from, like, if one thing that we learned from 2019, do not ingest disinfectants. And yet here we have a grown ass adult something. I will not call him a man. I will not give him that respect. Something, a piece of shit maybe. That seems appropriate. And he's like, inject disinfectants in a human body to kill a virus. You know, my dude, that shit doesn't specify in like coronavirus. It kills everything. That is why you are to handle them carefully. Like, have you ever seen like cleaning fuck ups when you you fuck up and accidentally use two clashing cleaning materials too quickly, and then you can like feel the chlorine and stuff, and you feel the burning in your lungs. That's for a fucking reason. That's because that shit is doing what it does. It cleans your lung cells. Like, yeah, it kills the virus, sure, because it kills every cell in its way. Like, I just don't understand. And then for people who are not experts, like who are not PhDs and MDs and all the rest of the Ds that you can imagine that are relevant to this conversation, to come in here and say, I will not wear a mask because rah rah rah. Okay, but then you know what? Next time you go to a surgery, ask your doctor to not wear a mask.
right, which
Guess
is
you will
it's
not
so
feel the
common.
same way then.
I think it's just a mind-boggling to me coming from a background where we all worked in a hospital. I mean, it's just like it's almost second nature. I mean, it's well anyway. So Saffras Dean says the funniest conspiracy I think right now is Trump doesn't actually happen. So I wasn't gonna bring up the Orange Man, but since we're bringing him up,
I don't know.
can we have some quick reactions to Trump getting COVID? Let's start with you, Chessa, because you be fighting the power on your timeline. So let's start with you, child.
Oh my God. Well, I mean, I expected it, but at this point in time, it feels a little bit planned. I'm not saying he doesn't have it. All right. I'm not saying he doesn't have it, but everybody's sensationalizing it. Everybody's throwing details in there that are just assumed. There's no like concrete evidence either way. Some people are saying he has 48 hours to decide whether or not he's going to live or die. Other people are saying he's fine. He's just going there for like, to make sure he's okay because of his age. Like, yeah, karma for sure. But like, I also feel like, however this goes, it's going to be a parade of a shit show. So it's just a bunch of bullcrap to me.
Okay, but I'm about to be messy. But isn't it like just crazy how he just denied science for all this time? You know what I'm saying? I
Very
personally,
chemically insane. Yeah.
I personally don't think he faking it because I just don't think he will ever admit that he got the virus. Like if he had, I mean, like I think this, I just really don't think he would be humble enough to admit it. My reaction is, people want to say pray for him and all this other kind of stuff. A lot of people have died here in the United States because of COVID. A lot of people have recovered, but there's a lot of people's lives that were lost because of misinformation. I think it was on purpose. A lot of it was disinformation. So, I guess I'll just stand back and stand by. That's my whole reaction to this whole thing. So there you go. It is what it is. Ain't that what
Our
he said?
leader, our leader Boris got it. So it's like,
Yeah.
how comes these people that are the ones with all the scientific and safety knowledge, they know all the guidelines, but they're still getting it? But he apparently went out like to hospitals when COVID was first around, shaking hands and everything with people, and didn't take any precautions.
Well,
And it's like,
yeah.
but then you're stood at your podium telling us what precautions to take, and then you're doing the complete opposite.
Well, they're saying that Trump knew that he had it and still had events. So I don't know. It's always something drama surrounding him. What do you think, Molly? What are your thoughts? If you want to give an opinion.
Well, this is a highly moderated opinion, and if you actually want to hear my real thoughts, contact me in private, because I am not about to say what I actually think publicly. Anyway, my opinion is that I kind of agree with you on that I don't think he would be humble enough. Like, I don't see what benefit it would bring him to say that he has it.
Right.
Other than maybe saying that he has it and then coming out on stage and banging his chest like, this is just a cold or some bullshit like that.
Right.
I can imagine that. But also, and this is as hostile as I will get towards him publicly, I really do hope that he has it, and he has it really bad, and that he will suffer from it long. Because here's why. I do believe that if he has it and has it easy, he will use it to discredit science further, like, to do what he does and did so far, and just say, look, I had COVID and it's fine. So I hope that he will have severe consequences, because I do fear that if he gets off easy, like if he truly has it and he gets off easy, he will use that to hurt more people by discrediting science and stamping and dancing on the graves of those who actually died and suffered. So,
well, that goes into what we were talking about, crazy conspiracy theories. A lot of them
So-
have been started by him.
yeah, and that is why, as mad, and I actually, mad is not the right word, because yeah, I'm a humanist, and I do believe that he should get the care that he needs, but I do hope he suffers, and that he doesn't get off easy from this, because if he did, then yeah, he could use it to discredit it, and like you say in the comments, gloat that, look, it's just the flu, and all of you are just like weak pussies and whatever bullshit that these alt-right idiots would say.
Well, that is a
So-
conspiracy theory that is not any more deadly than the flu. So since we have somebody on the panel who had actually had the flu and had corona, what do you think, Chessa? I mean, did it feel just like a flu?
No, way different than any illness I've ever had. Swear to God on my life. And through going through autoimmune issues, especially, it felt more neurologically centered and more centered on my organs than it did anything else. Like, I had spinal pain directly where I had spinal taps. I had like 3. And the spinal pain I had was directly there. Like, it was pinpricked right on where I had that insertion of that needle over and over again. And that creeped me out. It creeped me out. I have neurological issues that have popped up now. Might be because the weather's changing. You know, sometimes I have that with what I have. But I've been having issues since I had it. And I don't have heart stress after I get over the flu. Like, I don't have like pain in my chest or feel like my heart is out of beat after having the flu. So like, there's some stuff, I don't know. It's just weird. I think whether or not, I'm pretty sure he has it. The reason why I'm sure that he has it and that it's not a ploy is because other Republicans in his cabinet have gotten it.
Right.
And
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure, like, if it was a ploy, it would not have spread the way it did, you know? So I do believe he has it. I don't think, you know, he doesn't have it. He's just trying to do this, like, facetiously. I do think, however this goes, he's full of shit. And he always has been. And, you know, the people who are like, oh, he's so cool because he admits that he's full of shit and tells everybody else to go after themselves. Like, whatever. Like Biden said, and I'm not a Biden fan, will you just shut the F up? Like, will you just shut up? But yeah, I think you know, Trump is not someone I consider very intellectual, but he is smart when it comes to his playbook, and he is definitely going to use this however he can. Even if he's insane and demented in the hospital, he's going to find a way to spin this. So,
or milk it.
Yeah,
because you know he usually don't get a lot of positive coverage here.
Look at all the people he owes money to. Look at all the crap that's coming out right before the election, and everybody's just going to ignore it. Nobody can process it. Everybody's like all deflected with the COVID and fires and protests and like economic disturbances and all this crazy crap that's going on, fire tornadoes. But nobody focuses on Trump's tax records or the fact that he owes millions of dollars to other people before he goes into a new election and that he has no money. Like, nobody, this is all insane. And if
it is insane because he broke.
Okay. Like,
you know, how you gonna pay $750 in taxes and then go to get COVID and go to the hospital and we got to pay for it?
Yep.
I mean, honestly, I have this guy I randomly discovered on YouTube, and his channel name is Legal, and he's, first of all, hella funny, and the second of all, he has like various like movie scene breakdowns, such and such, and he deals with like real life, like he's actually suing the White House and shit. It's wild. He's awesome. And anyway, he made a video about Trump's tax records and other presidents' tax records, and he says that no matter what happens with the election, but the point is we never had a president of the US who has this many like upcoming balloon debts and balloon payments coming up to possibly like outside powers like Russia and the United Arab Emirates and all that. Like, it's just unprecedented, and I don't know how, like, don't they have like background checks on y'all's presidents that they missed this, or did they just not care?
Well, he was supposed to, because we're not gonna turn this into a political live because Emma's probably looking like, let's not talk about politics. I'm gonna spare you, honey, but I will say this: he was supposed to. Every president since the beginning of time has shown their taxes to the public in the election year, and he got away with not doing that last cycle. So now
Yeah,
we're just
and I
figuring
mean,
this stuff out. So no, we don't have a process in which they tried to enact a law right before the election year, and the Republicans shot it down, obviously because it's in their favor for them not
I
to
mean,
show the. So I don't know. Show the
honestly, like if you have nothing to hide, maybe it's a different culture in Hungary, but be like, if you got nothing to hide, show it. And we also have this like, if it's not your shirt, don't wear it. If you have nothing to worry about, and if you're not cheating with your taxes, just fucking show it. Come on, what's up, man? If you have nothing to hide, then why would you not show just that last segment of your paper that says paid in taxes, blah blah blah? You know, like I don't understand why you would be object to that. Like, you know,
Well, honey, like if you can get Trump to give people his taxes, then you'll be doing a feat that nobody could ever accomplish here in the U.S. because the Democrats have tried, everybody has tried. They didn't try to hack this man. It's just, it's not how. So that ends our politics segment.
No, it doesn't. No, I'm just
It
kidding.
doesn't. So I don't know. Did anybody have some final thoughts here about our lives today? Maybe let's talk about our lives in the future. I don't know. Mental health, whatever we want to close out with.
yeah. You guys, if you have like, if you have me as a friend on Facebook, and if you don't, and if the other lovely ladies on this screen can vouch for you, and you send me a friend request, I'm cool. Uh, anyway, uh, uh, I'm a message away. I'm up like a lot because I'm an insomniac. Hi, how are you? I don't get any sleep. So I deal in toxic ways, such as scrolling on my phone when I shouldn't and getting mad. Because why not? Of course. Anyway, so you can always message me, and because isolation, I'm a hermit, okay? I barely go out. My lifestyle barely fucking changed because of COVID. Like, basically it didn't, other than the mask and the fact that when I enter the door, I don't pet my bunnies, I don't touch anything, I just run to the shower and disinfect myself. Like, I just douse myself in like disinfectant and just go just like scratching obsessively until I feel like it's okay, and then I proceed to touch anything. But basically, send me a message if you need to talk. And I post a lot of cute bunnies who are currently destroying my clothes on the floor because I'm a hot mess. Anyway, reach out.
Yay, Molly. But okay, so Chessa, you have any final thoughts on our show today, or?
Make sure if you're going to a restaurant, you make reservations and go somewhere that requires them so that you're safe. Wear a mask. Wear a mask. Don't take the vaccine right away. Wait like a week or two to make sure nobody becomes a zombie. And if you need anything, message me. I'll be mad busy. Come see me at Anna's. Otherwise, I'll get to you as soon as I can. And message Molly because she's cool and she won't murder you. I promise.
Right. I don't know because I caught a little bit of that makeup live. I'm like, zombies, murder. This is taking quite a turn. We
I
love
hope
you.
you
I just want
recover,
to say,
Linda.
give a shout out to Linda. Linda is always on our lives, makeup lives, and our regular lives. We love you too, Linda, and we're glad. We hope that you recover soon. Emma, any final thoughts, ma'am?
Don't message me in politics. I'm not interested.
I'm messaging you as soon as we get off of here.
I'll block you.
I bet you won't.
I'm not going to preach anything. I'm just going to say at the end of the day, a mask is to protect others, not yourself. 10 minutes out of your life, if you can, just consider that you might have it, you might not know, you could be spreading it. It's easier just to try not to. Um, other than that, can't think of anything else.
Well, I am gonna preach. We're mad because I have kids, and I,
Mm.
and then and there's a lot of people that are high risk. I mean, I understand the people that don't. I get it, but it shouldn't be political. It's not up for debate. I'm all about science. So I think, uh, the debate surrounding the mask. I really always have thought it was silly. I have always thought that like grown people on Facebook arguing about wearing a mask or not. But here we are. So anyway, we got some upcoming stuff coming up. We had a Colts versus Colts part 3. Yay! I think that's what, next week.
Yeah, on the 11th.
Yeah, on 11. We're trying to plan for that. We are trying to continue from the first and second parts, and I think we're gonna have Sam Young again, excommunicated Mormon bishop. So we'll probably get some more questions. So if you guys have any questions lined up, that would be great. You can reach out to us on the Glass Table page, on a PM, or you can join our Facebook group, the Glass Table Live, where we keep our a lot of the members on the page updated. And then there is, after that, I just like to say that this is going to be our first Halloween special coming up. So if you guys are interested, let us know. I would love. I know I just was throwing this on everybody now to think about, like, raffling something off for the best makeup looks and stuff for Halloween, or best Halloween costumes and stuff like that. So like if you were in the Glass
Oh,
Table,
we should have a costume contest. Is it too late to have a
I
costume
don't know. I
contest?
want to
That
do
would be
something.
I
so
don't think
fun.
it is. I don't think it is.
Oh, that
But
would
oh
be
my
so
god,
fun.
I will need to go starving because I want to order the SFX makeup then. Oh my god.
I'm still gonna lose, but it's gonna be fun. I might have to work Halloween though. I don't know yet.
Yeah, so everything is up in the air. Like,
Yeah.
I have kids, so I don't even know if we're gonna do trick or treating or not or anything like that. So
Yeah,
COVID,
during COVID, that's a future discussion for another time.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
if I don't do it on TGT, I am going to probably do on my Instagram some of my experiences with the paranormal that I've gone through in the past 24 years, because there's been a lot. I've got a lot of stories, a lot of experiences, and I've never really properly told my stories. So I'm thinking about doing some makeup looks and just telling some of my stories in shorter videos. So I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to do it, but I know I want to put them out there.
I think you should do it like story times. You ever seen those makeup videos and they have like story times with them?
Oh my god,
Robert
yes.
Welsh does one on a Monday. He does ghost stories. Get ready with him. So he does his makeup and then he reads out ghost stories. So
Do something
I suppose
like
I could
that.
do one. Yeah, I could do my makeup and then tell.
You should do one kid appropriate one for Lily, because she would love it so much.
Yeah,
Oh
it
my
might
God.
scare her then.
Yeah, no, she'll probably scare you. Yeah.
She looked scary with them teeth in the other day.
She loves it. She loves it.
So right now we're working on our Halloween special, but it's shaping up to be a makeup live. So
It
and
makes
we're
sense.
just chatting and just telling stories and putting on spooky makeup, and hopefully you guys can submit some of your pictures and we can
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, do something special. I don't know.
I'm about to make a candy run. I'm about to make a s'mores run.
Chessa, when can we see you next?
I don't know.
I didn't put you on the spot for TGT. I just mean period, like with your lives and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so I'm trying to get my schedule down, and I don't know if people saw my lives last week or the week before when I was putting up the shelves for the record. So I'm working on the studio. It's in the works. As soon as I can be back up and running again, I will. It's just work. I'm exhausted. I'm so tired. I love all you guys so much.
Yay!
I'm probably going to bed after this, but
I know, but we're so happy to have you.
But I do want to come back on soon, and I miss you guys to death. So I will try and be on as soon as possible.
Yay! I caught your sex abuse live the other day.
Yeah, that was random. That was after work, and I had a conversation with someone earlier that night that really kind of like
It was
clicked
emotional.
something for
Yeah.
me. Yeah. I was just like, man, there's so many people who have kids and are concerned, but don't really understand the dynamics of it socially, and like talking about that and how long the sex trade has been around in society and how that influences us, and trying to protect our kids from a system that's been built for centuries like this. Like, it was an interesting conversation. So I came home and made a live about it, and yeah, it was emotional. I haven't watched it since I made it, so hopefully it's not.
I have to finish it, but from what I saw, I did see it was emotional. It was one of those times that I needed to sit down and give it my undivided attention.
I was preaching. I was definitely preaching. So
I like preaching, Chessa.
yeah.
All right, so I guess that wraps us up. Did anybody else have anything they wanted to say before we go? I'm thinking we should have a show just about conspiracy theories, because I could go on and on about that.
They're wild. Right now is a wild time.
It is. What a time to be
Okay,
living.
but if we do that, can we all do like clown makeup? Because
No, I want clown phobia. We not do clown makeup.
I don't know. You could dress up as your favorite political character.
oh my god,
I could
Well,
try to
Emma
be
already
Bernie.
out.
I'm not sure how that would work, but I would try a Bernie Sanders. I have the skin for it. I just have to get the wig.
You ain't got no skin for no Bernie Sanders.
I could get the skin for a Bernie.
No,
You'd be surprised.
Well, guys, catch us next week. Same time, same place. Bye.
Bye.